pleasant afternoon to all of you. Trust me, it's such an incredible feeling for me to be here with all of you. So, to begin with, celebrate success, and that being an important pillar for our culture of excellence. And today's event is all about that. A very warm welcome to all of you to the grand inauguration of KPIT's Kochi Center. Firstly, let me extend a note of thank you to all the significant dignitaries and our leadership team present here. Mr. Sachin Tikekar, President and Joint MD KPIT. Mr. Linesh Kamdar, Business Leader, Middleware Business Unit KPIT. Mr. Girish Sabath, Business Leader in Facilities and Logistics Management Head KPIT. Mr. Shashwat Mitra, HR Head India. Mr. Tushar Adhikari, Business Leader KPIT. Mr. Keshav Karunakar, Delivery Leader, KPIT. Mr. Abhijit Baste, Delivery Leader, Propulsion Business Unit, KPIT. Mr. Sriram Narkhede, Delivery Leader, Virtualization Business. And Mr. Dhananjay Vilas Jadhav, Senior Director, Marketing. My name is Swati Chauhan. I head the HR team for the South region in KPIT, and it's been such a delight to be your host today. This is my 4th year with KPIT and still counting, and this has been the most satisfying career stint for me. And I'm sure it is the same for all of you, all the leadership and our employees present here. And we are very sure of the future accomplishments of our yet to joiners. We are the best place to grow, and if you have the potential, we have the right opportunity for you. We truly believe in identifying potential in people very early in their careers and nurture them. With that note, without further ado, let's begin the event. I would like to invite Mr. Sachin Tikekar on the stage as he will share his valuable insights on the organization's vision, mission, and talk about the biggest paradigm shift in the automotive industry in the past 100 years. Along with that, how the future of automotive shape up in software-defined vehicles. Mr. Sachin Tikekar, please.
You can all hear me and see me, right? All the way at the back. Thank you. All of you have heard of stage fright, right? The best way for me to deal with stage fright is just get off the stage, right? And just be with all of you. So I feel very much at home without any any headphone microphone, and just being, right here with all of you. This is an important milestone, as I mentioned, in the history of our company, and it's my personal pleasure to welcome all of you. Today we have our existing employees. I met some of the employees who are going to be joining us very soon, and we also have a representative from some of the key colleges here. So welcome to KPIT's function, and we have some students who are doing their MBA and Masters in HR. So, welcome to all of you. What I'll try and cover in the next few minutes is who we are as a company, and more importantly, what is it that we are trying to do. And what we do is, the real conversation happens when there are comments, feedback, question, answer. So we are going to leave all the time that is needed if there are any going to be conversations taking place. Does that sound like a good idea to everybody? All right. And if you get bored, please raise your hand. I'll shut up. Right? That'll be a subtle hint to me. So let's get started. As you know, we are a group of people. Now that's about 11,000. Who are really passionate about mobility. And there couldn't be a better time to be in the field of mobility when it's going through the biggest transformation in the 100 years, right? So we are very excited to be part of this journey. The journey has been interesting This is something that, sometimes you know certain things in your stomach, but you can't see them. We knew something was going to improve 20 years ago, and we started to slowly focus more and more on automotive and mobility, and finally it looks like the transformation is happening. So from our perspective, the timing couldn't have been better, right? It would have been much better if it would have happened 20 years ago, but anyway, never too late, right, to do that. So let me start with, if you can put the, I don't have too many slides. My thing is not too many words on a slide and less than 10 slides for any presentation, so don't worry about it. I'm as allergic to the slides as some of you are, so don't worry about it. So this is something that our vision, and vision is something we took about 9 months to write down our vision. We had multiple workshops, we had hundreds of our employees contributing to our vision because we wanted to make sure that this is something, we can get up every morning and be inspired by something, right? That was the whole goal, and it took us 9 months to figure it out. But it's been about 4.5 years since we sort of rewrote the vision, and in all honesty, to me, this is something that really inspires me early in the morning. What really makes you get up early in the morning and feel energized? I think this is the vision that personally gets me excited. And the vision is about, I already shared our passion about mobility. The vision is reimagining mobility with you. With you means that there is a representation of with you. With you, whether these are the universities and college campuses, it's the analysts, the investors, the outside community, as well as, most importantly, our employees. And not to forget our clients and partners, correct? So, the reimagining mobility is not for one company to do, right? When all of us put our minds together, that's when the transformation happens. And that's why it's very important for us to say that it's with all of us together in it. And the last part is probably the most important. This is the impact that we want to leave. The vision is all outside, and it's not about what we want to do, it's about what impact we want to have on this planet called Earth, right? As you know, how many are here who are above the age of 30? Okay, all right. Those who are under the age of 30? Wow, that's a big number. So, my personal apologies to all of you who are under the age of 30. We are the ones who made the planet miserable to all of you, right? Really. And now I think it's our job, it's our responsibility to sort of do our part to make our planet not only cleaner, smarter, but safer. And let me say what that means. Cleaner means how do we really reduce our carbon footprint globally? Point number one. Point number two is how do we do more with less, right? I think it's all about, my generation has been all about doing more with more, right? And now it has to change from doing more with less for more. Right? And that's the smarter part. Let's be smart about things, right? Doing more with more is not very smart, as we know, right? And last but not the least, there are millions of accidents that happen with vehicles, and there are many accidental injuries and deaths. So how can we make the world of mobility safer? One of our clients, their vision is no accidental deaths by 2050, right? Very powerful sort of vision for them. So this is what we are passionate about, right? Can we make a dent to make our planet cleaner, safer, and smarter? Right? Our chairman, Ravi Pandit, is personally, he's the one who lives this vision every second of the day. And I hope that all of you get to see him and hear him at some point in time. And he sort of truly symbolizes, and he truly represents who we are and what we are trying to do. Yeah. Any questions on the vision part? Right, to our larger family, this is most important. Right? I mean, yeah, we're going to be busy with doing our things, working on projects, delivering projects, all of that is great, as long as it's for one of these three things, it's all good. Right? So any questions, comments? Is this exciting? Yeah? Yeah, I think for all 20-something people it is exciting. Because your planet is not going to be in the great shape if it's not exciting, right? So, yeah, this is the part. Now the second part is you have this vision, and they say that the vision really has to be grandiose. That means you never get there. It's a journey. Every day you need to head in the right direction, right? There is no such thing as you have arrived, right? Then it's probably not the right vision. So that's floating somewhere and going somewhere. Now this is how do we bring all of that down to actually make that journey towards realizing the vision. So this is our what we call our mission. And our mission is essentially what we want to do is we want to build a true culture of excellence. When you have excellence, you can actually do more with less for more. We truly believe that, right? That's being smart. And we thought that we should align that to the 4 key things that we do as a company. Number 1, we work with the bottom, having a strategic relationship with T25 clients. So we have identified 25 OEMs, mostly the OEMs who make vehicles, whether these are commercial vehicles or passenger cars, the big guys that most of you know across the world. Handful of them are part of the mobility ecosystem, right? When I say the ecosystem, it starts with what we call silicon, so chip makers, to the cloud and everything in between. So there are tier 1s and tier 2s and tool makers, all of that fall in this category, but that's really the mobility ecosystem. So most of our clients are actually the OEMs, and in order to make our OEMs successful, we use the entire ecosystem and then we partner with ecosystem players to get there, right? That's the whole story. So that's really, and the whole mantra for T25 is, when we say we are partners to them, that means we always take their best interest at heart all the time, and it's our job to make them successful. Right? Many businesses may say that, but on day-to-day basis, it's all about me. How can I get more money? How can I do? That's one way to grow. For us, what we are saying is, let's make our clients successful. That should be really our mission, and one outcome will be highly profitable growth. That should be the outcome. Let this be the mission, making them successful, right? So that's the client part. No, okay, so you got the client set up. Great, right? We are very clear about who our clients are and what we do for them and how we want to engage with them. The second part is, there is one thing that really stands out for KPIT, and I'm truly proud of what we have done. For the last 20-25 years, we've been investing in building capabilities in our practices. And I'll come to the practice slide. I know I'm packed up very well with our team here, so I'm going to venture into the practice part later on. This is what you will call the key differentiator that makes us special, right? These are our practices individually, and more importantly, when they come together and what they offer collectively, that just has a magical impact, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit. So how do we make sure that if that's our differentiator, how do we continue to make investments in these practices so that we are able to create more and more value for our clients and make sure that as an outcome we have a healthy company to run, right? You're going to hear a lot about it, right? You're going to be assigned to a practice or set of practices, and the expectation is nothing but excellence, right? Because you're going to be part of a company that is taking up key challenges for our clients, and failure is not an option for them, right? And if you've been given a key responsibility in their success, then failure is not an option for us, right? Very simple. Second part, so you created, to me, practice is what you have to offer to your clients and create value for them. In some ways it's a promise, right? You build it, you build capabilities, and clients know that you have something that is of substance, right? To me, it's a promise. Promise is never good enough, right? It's a great beginning, but it's only good when you are actually able to deliver on that promise, right? And that takes us to the third part, which is delivering zero defect, right? So one definition of zero defect is most of the work we do is in software, right? And most of you probably know software more than I do. But in any case, there are three parameters that are basic, right? When you are given a task, it has to happen first time right? Secondly, it has to happen within the time frame that you have agreed to and within the cost, right? That's what the basic expectations of the clients are. So that's one. So that's what we call zero defect delivery. However, the expectations of our clients are slightly more. They're saying, okay, you can deliver this code on time and within the cost and without any bugs. That's not good enough, because when you are partners to the client, there are multiple touch points. Your delivery of code is one touch point, right? Our account management team touches them, our marketing, our functions, they all touch them, right? What is more important is the experience that you leave them with. Sometimes you can do a great job on zero defect delivery, but still leave your client unhappy, right? We all seen this situation, right? All of us, correct? So we just want to make sure that we improve all the touch points so that they feel like real partners, right? And many a times, I'll tell you, it's the other way around too. Many a times we may not be able to deliver zero defect delivery, right? Because the work that we are doing, they've never done it, we have never done, nobody's done it before. And we'll talk about that work. In that case, what is important is setting the right expectations, partnering with them, and making sure that you're doing more than your best job, right? If you really do that with all your sincerity, you may miss one or two milestones, but the experience still will be great. Think about that, right? So that's really about the zero defect delivery. And last but not the least, and we're going to talk a little bit about it later, is how do we make KPIT the best place to grow for all our employees, right? And there is a difference. Those who represent HR here or who are getting educated in HR, there is a thing called best place to grow. No, best place to work, right? That's the, best place to work is the real terminology, which is great, right? Best place to work is great. However, what's really our differentiator, right? We are a technology company. We are passionate about mobility. We want people who are passionate about mobility to join us, and we want to make sure that KPIT becomes the best place to grow, right? Whether these are your professional aspirations, your personal aspirations, fulfilling those aspirations is really best place to grow from our lens. So you'll see and by the way, best place to work, when you see some of our campuses, these are outstanding campuses. So, best place to work is also given. I'm not trying to undermine that. But the thing is, we are a technology company at heart, right? And what we do is, technologies are a differentiator to make a difference, right? And we need to provide our people tremendous opportunities to grow and fulfill their aspirations in terms of growth, right? So we want people who have aspirations, who want to think big, right? Who are passionate about mobility. And these are the employees that will thrive in KPIT. And for them, it's our job to make sure that we provide the best place to grow. Last but not the least, on the right-hand side, you see, this is again, it's somewhere between vision and mission, right? This is a journey, you never get there. What we are saying is, when you're trying to create a differentiator for yourself, we really want to stand out and we want to say, to become a leading software integrator partner in mobility, and to know software better than any mobility company, and to know mobility better than any software company. Right? That's the only way to create tremendous value. It's a journey. Do we know software better than Apple? I don't think so. Not a bad aspiration, right? So we'll get there. Slowly at some point in time. So that's really, and that's what. So essentially, everything that we do on day-to-day lives, when you're part of KPIT, gets anchored around this, right? Any questions or comments on this slide? Am I going too fast, too slow? Or just right? Yeah, you sure? Okay. Or I don't take offense. So please be open about it, right? It's about you, not about me, right? So I just want you to know. So we'll go to the next slide. This is a representation of how the mobility is evolving, right? If you remember, the vehicles were vehicles of transportation to move person or goods from point A to point B, and most of the vehicles had mostly mechanical, leading to electromechanical components, right? Starting. Now, 100 years ago, fast forward 2020, right? In between, what people tried to do was they continued to add electronics and software in the cars or in the vehicles, so that the vehicles become smarter and more efficient, and they meet the needs of the changing world, right? Which was great. Again, that's something that has been happening mostly over the last 40 or 50 years, right? The software becoming more and more. And then there is a company, you may have heard of this company called Tesla, that made the change, that made the paradigm change in the mobility industry, and some disruption happened. The culmination of disruption was done by Tesla. The thoughts were there with many others that contributed to it, right? And what they did was, Tesla is a software company. They built the software and then they built mechanical cars around it. Very different way of looking at vehicles, right? Now, the vehicles of the future were about, hey, from point A to point B, how do we make your ride or the goods safe and comfortable, right? Now, this is software-defined vehicles. That's what Tesla has started to do, is about how do we improve your experience, right? How do we make it cleaner, safer, and smarter? How can we share this, right? And how can we make this more efficient? How can we build a mechanical vehicle that can be there for a long time, but everything that's inside can get refreshed very, very quickly, correct? So that's the disruption that has actually happened in our industry, which we call mobility. So that's just the representation. You see the Tesla truck all the way up there, and then there are many other vehicles on the far right-hand side. They said that this was going to be launched 2 years ago, and we are still waiting for it to be launched. But that's the game, right? When you try to do something for the first time. And now, this is actually a software-defined vehicle, the archetype of software-defined vehicles. So the mechanical thing is what you see from outside, right? But there are a lot of things that are going, that are all software leading to electronics, and then, the final termination is what you actually see on the screen. So this, all of that, I think Tesla said what we are doing is essentially we are creating a case. Case is what connected. We're going to make all the vehicles connected. We're going to make them autonomous. We're going to make them shareable, so S. And third, we're going to make them electric. Right? That was the whole thing. And in some ways that leads to, electrification leads to cleaner vehicles, autonomous lead to safety, right? And shared and what was the first part? Shared and connected is about being smart, right? So if you look at cases 100% in line with what KPIT does and what our vision is, right? This whole software-defined vehicle, when I said that, Tesla did that ground up, but there are very few people who have a view of what is actually the software-defined vehicle is. And fortunately, you are all part of a company that is actually a tiny speck in this entire ecosystem. Tiny, tiny speck. We are a very tiny speck. But our impact is much more than one speck, right? We punch way above our weight. Because of all the great work that our employees have done over the last 20 years, it puts us in a very unique position to take the lead when it comes to software-defined vehicles. There are very few companies across the globe who have a complete view of software-defined vehicles, and you are all part of that one company. So, existing employees, partners, round of applause for being a truly special journey. And it's not an exaggeration, right? For the last 2 years, just the positioning, and I call it the positioning and the promise of KPIT in the eyes of the ecosystem has gone up tremendously. Everybody from silicon to cloud, and these are some really, really large players. You know, cloud, the largest player is AWS. Silicon, one of the largest players is Qualcomm. In tier 1, there are Continentals and Bosch. More importantly, in the OEMs, you know, the large OEMs on the passenger car side and so forth, all of them believe that KPIT is in a unique position to help them make that journey from a conventional vehicle to a software-defined vehicle, right? So it's a very unique opportunity for us, and I keep calling this a promise because it's still a promise. People believe that we have the promise which is more complete than anybody else's promise. All of us collectively have to make that a reality, right? But it's an incredible place to be, and I've never been excited. I've always been excited about our future, but never been excited more about our future than now, right? These are some of the. So that's on the. I've been talking about T25 clients. You should see some of the names, and these are some of the incredible names that you know. And what we are proud of is we can actually call them. They actually call us their trusted partner, right? So I'll give you an example of what that means. Renault, and some of you have seen the press release by Renault. They said that they are actually building a one-of-a-kind software-defined vehicle which will hit the road in 2026, and they have selected 3 partners in their journey, right? Qualcomm will provide the chip, Google will provide the cloud, and KPIT will do the entire software integration for them, right? Along with Renault. And I'm saying this because it's an announcement from Renault, right? So it's good to have outside validation rather than, you know, doubting your own horn. Second is, I will not say anything about Honda right now. I'm just going to say, please write this down in your calendar. You're going to see an announcement in the month of March that will define what a trusted partner is. Yeah, please, everybody, 31st of March. If you have not heard of an announcement, please call me. Right? Because it's on me if it hasn't happened, right? So, Packard is one of the largest and most trusted commercial vehicle maker in North America and Europe, right? It's one company in the entire mobility system that has been profitable for the last 35 years. Nobody's done that. It's only one company, right? It happened during Corona. It happened during the financial meltdown in 2010. So it's a phenomenal company, and we are very proud to call them a true partner, right? So these are just some of the examples that we are giving. Cummins, which is one of the largest independent, it used to be a diesel engine maker. Now they are a source of great future energy. We are a joint venture with Cummins, right? So again, the partnership is very, very that of a, it's a hand in glove partnership, right? So the whole thing is just work with handful of clients and make them successful. That's really the philosophy. We are not going to go all over the place and trying to be everything to everybody because it's not possible, right? We'll rather just focus on handful and make sure that we help them be successful, right? That's really our story. So these are some of the marquee names. Stellantis, you may know as Fiat or Chrysler or many other brands that they have acquired over Peugeot, right? All the brands that they have acquired over the years. You know, Jaguar Land Rover is actually owned by an Indian company which happens to be Tata, right? So we all know General Motors. You all know it used to be one of the largest automotive company, and it has a new life now, and they're actually heading absolutely in the right direction. And who doesn't know BMW, right? BMW stands for quality, right? And sturdiness, and of course the great driving experience that one gets when you drive it, right? So we are very proud of these clients, and they form the core of our T25. Yeah. Any questions so far? Sorry, am I going on time? We are okay? Okay, thank you. This is a little bit about our practices. You know, I talked about the practices, best-in-class practices in building platforms. So a little bit about that. So first, on the left-hand side, you see autonomous driving practice. Very proud to say that you know, it's a leading cutting-edge practice that we have in our company. How many represent ADAS practice here? Okay, there you go. You should be very proud of the practice you're part of. Truly, your leader is phenomenal, and I think you've seen our impact has been felt by the BMWs and the Hondas of the world. Correct. Electrification, we call it propulsion. It has two things. One is electrification is one type of powertrain. Right now you can see there are multiple powertrains that are coming. So there is a conventional powertrain, there is electric powertrain. Now, so we would like to actually call it propulsion, and it has multiple types of powertrains because the battery chemistry keeps changing. There's fuel cells, and you know, with now everybody's talking about dual fuel, right? So there are multiple powertrains that are going to be needed for different applications. So that's really it is our largest practice, right? And thanks to our partnership with Cummins that happened more than 20 years ago, e-cockpit and connectivity. Where we start with doing infotainment programs, you know, the infotainment that you have within the vehicle, but it's now getting extended into e-cockpit, right? More as, you know, in the software-defined vehicles. There is a middleware practice. Linesh is here, right? And Linesh is in the heart of the middleware practice, which happens to be the heart of the software-defined vehicle, right? And then there are vehicle diagnostics, which actually helps. It's a great way to make the whole world smarter, right? Through vehicle diagnostics, so you get to know the problems that you may have or you have, and you respond to them proactively or sometimes reactively, right? And then of course we have body electronics, and we also have a vehicle engineering and design practice, right? And that's also. All of these practices are now fully aligned to software-defined vehicle. We continue to do work which is conventional, of course, because we have to continue to support our clients who still have conventional vehicles. But the new development is more in terms of how all of these practices individually as well as collectively will help build software-defined vehicles, right? And the software-defined vehicle. Right? In the software-defined vehicle, at the lowest level, there are the chip makers. How to sort of integrate the chips into the middleware, that's what we do. And proud to say that our partner became part of KPIT family. It's been 2 years, just post the pandemic, right? And it was a great beginning. That's when the pandemic started to get out of India, if I remember correctly. Right? You know, and that brings the strength to our overall portfolio. Then there is middleware, and then there are, you know, applications and features, and everything goes into the cloud. Right? That's really the software-defined vehicle in a nutshell for you. Keshav, if I may call Keshav has been, he's the one who created our footprint in Kerala, especially in Kochi, and he's the one who's promised me that he's going to make our center, the center, as the best place to grow for anybody who wants to be in Kochi, correct? So if you can just walk us through this particular slide.
So, hi, good afternoon. I'm very emotional today. Reason being that I keep telling all my employees that I'm half Bihari, half Malayali. And people ask me that what is this half Bihari, half Malayali? I started my career in Kerala, Trivandrum in 1989. And I have been, I worked 1.5 years in Trivandrum, then I moved to Bangalore. I can tell you that talent in Kerala is very good. Okay. Technical talent, where people can solve complex problems. And Francis and we have been working for last 20 years. So that is the relationship that we have. Very happy today that I am able to give something back to the Kerala, because that is where I started my career. Now, place whatever as a company, if you see today we are in mobility at a time when Tesla is changing everything. And I used to tell that if whatever innovation is happening in PC market, if 10% of that innovation would have come, then we would have seen mobility market completely different. Work-wise, whatever we are doing, most complex, challenging work that we do. Yesterday, Pino asked me that you should have arranged this event along with cocktail. I said that let's move the target to 500 people. The day we have 500 center, we'll have this cocktail party, right? So I want each and one of you to just promise me 3 people, okay? Nothing more, right? Within a year, let's fill up this hall. And then we give target to move to other. Plus 3 people, each quarter 1%. If you can bring, we will have a cocktail party on this. Now, one of the things that is there in the college, Sachin has told, the best thing that is that make mobility cleaner, smarter, safer. Kochi being the Kochi airport, right? It is the one is the cleanest pioneer airport where you have all this clean thing, and this is our vision as a company that we want to do. So, align me to that. I'm very happy that some of our colleagues have moved from Bangalore to Pune, coming here and working at your home place, and I'm envy of that. Because we don't get chance to work where our social thing is there. So this is what benefit that you have, and I'm 100% confident that each one of us has the capability to make a team of 20, 30, 25 people. We have got very good leadership in the seniors bandwidth. We have Francis Dino, who has experience in this technology market. Let's work together to make this Center 500 and call Sachin next time with new partner.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, I promise this is the last slide. I said single digit slide, right? Not getting into it. This is, just a representation of best place to grow from KPIT perspective. So globally, our global, on paper, the headquarters is Pune. And then we have equal number of employees in Bangalore. And this is going to be, this is already is our third largest center in India. And these are the 3 that will propel our growth in future. Absolutely, I have no doubts in mind. Going outside of India, we exist wherever our clients exist, and we have large centers. So if you look at the Asia view, obviously, both of the employees are here. We have a center in Shanghai, and I'm so happy that it's finally open. 3 years we have not been able to visit that center. They have not been able to visit us, but I call them every week, right? And I was informed by our general manager there on 3rd of January that we have 50 employees, 48 of them got COVID within 2 weeks, including their family. Everybody is safe, and within 4 days they were back to normal. So very happy that all of them are, so now they can travel, we can travel, and it's all good, right? So there is a center in China, there is a center in Bangkok, Thailand, where we have maybe 70, 80 employees now. There is an office in Tokyo, Japan, because you saw one large name of a client there. And then that's really our footprint in Asia. When it comes to our footprint in Europe, Munich is our headquarters. And I say that outside of Pune and Bangalore, Munich has the largest number of headcount. I don't know the number now, it's in excess of 1,000 people in Munich. We have one beautiful center in Munich, which is an entire building that's ours, right in the heart of Munich. So we are very proud of that. Besides Munich, in Africa now we have presence in Tunisia and Egypt. Tunisia 400 or 500 people. Egypt getting to 70, right? Growing 70, 0 to 70 in less than a year, right? Right? And then we have a center in Barcelona, where we may have another up to 100 people, right? So that's really our footprint in Europe. And in Americas, and some of the clients, you saw some of the names, Renault and BMW and all of these guys, and Jaguar Land Rover. Of course, I'm going to mention Mercedes as well because it is our client. Maybe they didn't allow us to use their logo, I don't know, I'll find out. So a very large footprint in Europe as well. And then in Americas, of course, our headquarters is Novi, Michigan, which is the heart of automobile industry. We have an office in Belo Horizonte in Brazil, We have about 80 or 90 employees there. And Abhijit, it's mostly one client and one practice to start with, right? And you've been there.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, I'm envious of Abhijit. He gets to go to all the places. That's really our global footprint. As you can see, in Americas we have 2 locations. Europe we have 5 or 6, and in Asia we have 5 or 6. In Americas, of course, General Motors and Packard and Cummins are our largest clients. Of course, the Chrysler part of Stellantis. So bulk of our business is still, even though it's a European company now as headquarters, bulk of the business is still in America. So that's truly our global footprint, and this slide actually represents our offices across the globe. Correct? And one thing we want to do is, no matter which office you go to of KPIT, we want everybody to have the same kind of similar kind of experience. Of course, our campus in Pune, where you see the hill, that's our only really large 30-acre campus. But once you walk inside any premise, we want you to feel the same, right? And I'm happy to say that we're just getting started in Kochi. When I walked into our new office, it felt like home. Right? It had that. Diversity is important to us, and proud to say that there are more than 25 nationalities that are part of KPIT, and that number is growing across the globe. So when you are scouting for talent, please get the talent. You know all the locations where we exist. Right? Please scout the talent from all of those locations. We need really good people who are passionate about mobility. Correct? 150 university connects. Now, we are going to get smarter there. Right? We can't do justice to 150. Can we pick handful in every location in which we exist and create a deep and wide partnership with them, right? So that, again, and we'll take the same view that we take of clients. How can we create value for them, right? Make investments in them, take a true partnership approach, so that the outcome is, we get tremendous talent, right? So that's the approach that we'll take with handful of universities, and I'm proud to say that today we have representation from 2 universities here in Kochi, and we are in the process of signing MOUs with them, and I hope this MOU translates very soon into a real partnership, right? That's really our hope. The last part about women, little bit of disappointment. I'm happy to see it's a little more than 30% here, or maybe not. It's the representation. I think we need to do a much better job there, right? The positive thing is when people from colleges are joining us, that is almost 48 or 49%. It's up, so there is hope, right? So we have started the journey really well. Now we have to just make it better everywhere. KPIT will be a much better company with women representation going up to 50 or more, right? I truly believe that. We are already a great company. Just imagine what will happen to our company when there are more women in our company. I think we have some functions, HR and marketing, where there are 50% or more representation, and those functions do quite well. That's really our experience. So that's really, we are trying to create a very vibrant, energizing environment, right, where people are passionate about mobility. And I hope finally the final impact is KPIT becomes a truly great place to grow for everybody. So that's the last slide from my from our side actually. And now, thank you, Swati, for putting this together. Back to you.
And help us facilitate the invoice.
Yeah, so
You can be on stage.
yeah.
I don't have to talk now. It's easy.
Okay, so a lot of our team members and you guys have put a lot of effort in doing this event and making the center up. We want to just recognize their effort by saying thank you. There cannot be anything extra that can, whatever effort they have put in. So I'll call the names and Francis, can you get the momentum? So this could have not been possible without effort from Bino Matthew. He has been working with all the departments. So Bino, please come and we want to say thank you for your effort that you have done to make it happen. Please. Oops. Okay. So Bino. No, no, it's we are doing. Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
Some people need to be called out. I know it's a teamwork that has gone in, but you're representing them, right?
Yeah.
That's why we need a face.
Yeah. So next I'll call Francis. Francis. Korean. I'll call Trilok, the admin team along with IT. They have done excellent work, so he's representing the team. I'll call you for saying thank you because within a month there is a lot of effort in doing it. Dhananjay for marketing team because they have put a lot of effort. So please represent the team there. Swati. Swati, she has been instrumental in arranging all the events. So, okay, thanks.
Many congratulations to all the winners. Let us give them a big round of applause, all of us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so moving on, I would like to now invite Mr. Tushar Adhikari, Business Leader KPIT, to present the vote of thanks for the event. So before we move to the vote of thanks, I think we'll open the forum for some question and answers. Any one of you would like to ask any questions, please feel free now. We will open the forum for now. Queries, any questions?
And of course, if there are questions, we are more than happy to answer any questions, right? Students, MBA students, any questions? I was taught to ask questions when I did my MBA, right? So, if you have any questions or if you think of other questions later on, please reach out to us, right? And our university delegates, any questions or comments that you have? Yes, please.
So why did you select Kochi?
Why did very special when we need him.
So basically, it all started with Path Partner. So Path Partner has been acquired by Sachin mentioned in 2021. But Path Partner actually, we have been based in Bangalore. Now, when we are thinking of expansion of Path Partner, then we have considered different aspects. Now, so one of the actually biggest aspect was where there are concentration of fresh talent. So that's one thing which has gone actually, because traditionally in Path Partner we have been working at one point of time, though we are in Bangalore, but Malayali are majority. So that's the way actually we started, and then we saw like there is a concentration of engineering colleges, and then two centers like means mainly like Kochi and Trivandrum, so they are close by. So considering all the aspects, we considered Kochi as because we are in a smaller scale, so going to bigger cities and all we are not attracting talents is not that easy for us because there are already established MNCs and all, and we compete with them. So that's why we started with Kochi, and then when it come to KPIT to select the next, so I played a lot of role to convince convince the management to it has to be Kochi as the next big center for us.
And I think now that we are together, Path Partner and KPIT, the message is we are no longer the underdogs, right? I think we are the place to be now. So, and today I met a lot of people who have recently joined us from Who's Who, right? And so we mentioned it's the best place to go. And there is no other company that has a more complete story in software-defined vehicles than KPIT, right? So please be part of the promise, not only the promise, but also the execution, the delivery of the promise.
Yes, just to add what Tushar said, he was part of the committee which did pan-India study of multiple locations, and they finally recommended Kochi because of our good experience of being in Kochi before, and like he gave multiple reasons of the presence here and things like that, right? Now, one thing that we all should take away from here, the onus is on us to take KPIT in Kochi to a 4-digit number, which is at least 1,000 in the next 6 months. That is what actually Keshav has promised. Although he has said each one of you bring only 3. The secret is that is not going to take us to 4 digit. Each one of you have to bring more than 3. We have to take it to 1,000 in the next 6 months is what we have promised. And the onus is on us to make it happen. So we count on all of you. All of you have to be the brand ambassadors for KPIT to take the spread the words. Yeah.
So I'm Francis representing Rajagiri. So we are very happy that you opened another office in Kochi. So the point of academic point of view, so what are the special capabilities and actually competencies you are looking for the graduates, those you are going to acquire, so that we can also prepare them accordingly?
So I'll answer that question in 2 ways. First, I'll talk about the functions, right, what we are expecting, and then I'll have Kecher talk about the technology part, right? From functions, what we have done is we have started doing internship, and we want to engage with leading colleges that specialize in those functions. So one is obviously the internship program within KPIT has been driven by HR. for HR to start with, right? So we've taken some interns and we've seen tremendous results. So from HR perspective, we have started. We are doing it for marketing and account management as well, and we are engaging with 2 business schools. For our finance and company law, we are trying to engage with a couple of colleges. So we'll actually, for each one of our functions, we'll look at colleges that specialize in specific areas, so that we can work with you, you can work with us, and we can make an impact together. That's the first part of the question. And that addresses only 10% of our global employees, but let Keshav address the 90%.
So I always tell when I go to campus, saying that you give us bright talent, leave us on technology part. Okay, so technology will teach them what has to be done from all the service that we have, CVD, AD. If you have to put focus on the students, train them where they are willing to solve complex problems. Because this is missing in the current generation. Train them a lot of mathematics and analytical skill, because that is what is needed. If you have to focus, train them to love hardware. For us, they should have love for hardware. Otherwise, automotive is kind of bad. Train them to do only C programming. I don't want any other language to teach. Just C programming, because this is what is not there in campus. Whenever I meet students, I say that I know Python, I don't know C. This is a problem for us. So train them C. Immediate, we are done, right? But technology given to us, make them a person who is willing to sit down and solve the problem. And I'm just giving again, Francis was a fresher when he started working with me in my team. He will not get up till he doesn't solve the problem. And it's like we used to have a challenge that we will not drink water till this problem is fixed, right? I want such person, right? Who is really taking up the challenge on heads on to solve the problem. Technology will completely take care of it.
And there are 2 aspects, and I think we covered together, but in a nutshell, it's about attitude and aptitude. Correct? If you have that in a student, and if you are able to help us with the fundamentals, see passion for embedded systems, see passion for automotive hardware, I think leave the rest of us to us. Right? Absolutely.
Don't get bogged down to what industry demands. This is something that I really don't like, going to college and then people have taken like teaching C# because Microsoft is pushing it. Teaching Python, which class 6 students also learn. I don't subscribe to that methodology. But their basic mathematics is not good. Their problem solving is not good. They are not sitting for 8 hours in the class plus office, right? Please work on those things and rest everything will take care of it. Once he is willing to learn, we can teach anything. Yeah, please.
No, I wanted to add something. The choice of Kerala is, I think, the best decision, because the first automobile car which is produced in India is from Kerala.
Oh, wow.
So I think we have to just go through the history and just see that one Balakrishna Menon was a self-taught mechanical engineer in 1966 or so. He built the first car and it was Model 3. So I think this legacy might be. So Kerala is full of talents.
So it was already close to our heart, it's closer now, right?
Thank you.
Any questions from existing or the employees who are going to be joining us in the next couple of months? Yes, please.
Sachin, we are always in the connectivity, right? So when we look up for practice, we don't see a security. We have security already, but we don't see it as a practice local. Would we be expecting something like that?
Security, cyber security?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's a decision that we have to make. Some of the cyber security, I think there are companies that are creating tools and platforms. We are not going to do. See, the way to solve, we take the outside in view. What do our clients need? And for that, what is it that we can build? What is it that we can buy? And what is it that we can partner with? Right? These are the 3 things. So security, in that angle, the answer is yes. Now we have to decide whether to build, buy, or partner. Today's thinking is partnering. Dinesh, you want to add anything more to it?
I just wanted to say,
And today security we are doing it basically, but it is largely with respect to each individual because security is there everywhere.
Yes.
If we look at it middleware or autonomous, connectivity, every practice needs a security part of it, and that's why it has been distributed across. We had a practice also on the security, but then what we realized that having it across all the practices, that competency building would genuinely help, and that's where it has been now part of each of the practices.
Any other comments, feedback, or questions? Yes.
So my question is that so right now we are working for clients. Sorry. Right now we are working for clients.
Yes.
So is there going to be any research team within KPIT for new innovations?
Okay. Maybe we should have covered that part. We are one company that probably makes more investments in R&D than any other company in our field, to our knowledge. There is substantial amount of work that goes, it's part of our CTO organization. There are two levels of work that we do, which is not for clients. One is in our CTO organization, which is essentially looking at technology which is usually 3 to 5 years out, right? That's one. Secondly, all of our practices, we looked at our 8-9 practices, they all make investments of their own in their own practice for that next 1 to 5 year roadmap. So substantial amount of work goes in developing what we call platforms, tools and accelerators based on R&D. So we are very proud that a lot of the work actually gets done. And that's why I think it's one of the things, because of that, I think our practices remain cutting edge. Individually as well as collectively. Just to give you an example, what we have done in the last couple of years, right? We had AutoStar, which is the center of middleware. We created a middleware practice within the last year and a half, right? It's a lot of work that went in there to create middleware practice. We created a virtualization practice. We have acquired companies. We talked about Path Partner joining us and giving us capabilities, right? So we are actually building, again, the three approaches, right? What is it that we are going to build? What is it that we are going to buy? And what is it that we are going to partner with, right? To help also to create larger solutions that solve problems of our clients. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Yes.
So, as I'm representing Rajagiri College, and we are seeing moonlighting issues right now coming. And how do you, as a industry of KPIT, so how do you retain talent here? Like, how do you retain and attract? How, as I'm an HR student here, I would personally ask you to map so, is there any how are the challenges you face during retaining the talent in KPIT?
Thank you so much for the question, first of all. So, there are, so we talk about parallel employment as we call it. There are many challenges that we face, and that's especially something which has emerged from out of the pandemic, when we all started to work from home and keeping a track of each of our talent started to become a concern for us. So how do we retain and attract our talent? Extremely important is to have a very clear development path for them, have a very clear career visibility given to them so that they know where they are heading to. Career path is heading to. So those are already our two key strategies to retain and develop our talent so that we are able to take care of this concern as of now. Does that answer your question? Yes, please, Sachin. Yes.
We can get talent, right? Which is needed for every company at some point in time. Now our goal is to pull, right? Which is, I think, people should passionate people who like the kind of work that we do, they should actually apply to KPIT. That's where we are heading now. And you'll see a difference. We are already noticing that difference over the last couple of years, and it's going to change dramatically over the next couple of years. These are the things that are in our control. By doing things that are making actual impact on the world and making that visible to people so that they are drawn to us. That's what we are working on now, so that it becomes a sustainable sort of an initiative from talent perspective, right? And once they are in, we are striving to make KPIT the best place to grow, right? So at a high level, that's what that's how we look at talent, the attraction and the retention. Retention, I don't like that word. I think we want people to be excited. Right, I mean, retention is boring, right? I mean, it just, again, it seems like somehow you're trying to hold on to something. We don't want to hold on to anybody, right? We want people to be excited and passionate about working with us.
Do we have any more questions?
Great question, though. Very good.
So moving on, now I'm inviting Mr. Tushar Adhikari, Business Leader KPIT, to present the vote of thanks for the event. Mr. Tushar Adhikari.
Thanks, Swati. First of all, I would like to thank all the students and the prospective employees of KPIT and for coming and participating in this event patiently and asking questions. Please, if you have any other questions which you are not able to raise today, and if it comes subsequently, get back to any one of us. We'll be definitely trying in the best way to answer all your doubts and all. It is better to get your doubts clear before you are coming than after coming having doubts. Next, our employees of Kochi facility, particularly those with the initial employees, 1 or 2 employees with whom we have started, they have put the faith on us when we are really small, and then with all of them, our journey has started, and now slowly we are getting the steps, and then more and more people are forthcoming and joining us. So I would like to, my sincere thanks to all of them. Thanks to the delegates from 2 of the institutes over here, from Rajgiri and Kochi. So we'll definitely try to work with you very closely, and we'll see how we can make it a kind of a partnership, and it's more engaging relationship going forward. And then there are all the students from the MBA and HR, and also I would like to thanks for all of you to attend this and patiently listen to our messages, and also hopefully some of them will be useful for you, and then it will be spreading the information about what we are trying to do in KPIT in the institutes, and then we'll have a better, more and more people will be interested about KPIT. Thank you all for coming and attending the session over here. Finally, I'd like to thank all the leadership team who has put the candle and then take the oath that they will grow this center. So I hope they will actually keep their promise and help this grow as fast as possible. I would like to thank all the admin and the IT team who has put a lot of efforts over the last couple of months to make this facility available for us, and now it is fully functional. So thanks to all of them. The marketing team who has put a lot of effort to make it a really world-great kind of infrastructure over here. And yeah, it's really that first experience, as Sachin has mentioned, is after entering we really felt like, yeah, it is like any other KPIT facility. and also Swati and the HR team and Shashwat for organizing all these things and also bringing more and more employees forthcoming for this facility. And finally, I'll like to thank Sachin for actually taking this invitation and coming us and giving the perspective of KPIT to the bigger audience. So thanks Sachin for your time. And I would like to thank all this photography and the other people from the news media and all who are present over here for participating in this event. And finally, this hotel actually who has organized this event. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Tushar. The event cannot come to an end without thanking our extended KPIT family. I would like to thank the dignitaries and the college members who have been here. Mr. Sujit Krishnan, Regional Head NASCOM. Ms. Supriya, Professor and Head Department of Electronics from CUSAT. Mr. Santosh Kumar, Professor Computer Science Department from CUSAT. Mr. Binoy Joseph, Principal, Rajagiri College of Social Sciences. Dr. Francis Sebastian, Assistant Director, RBS. Mr. Salim Yusuf, Assistant Professor, Rajagiri Business School. And Dr. Biju Paul, Assistant Professor, Rajagiri School of Engineering. Thank you so much, all of you, for being part of this. I would once again like to thank and appreciate each one of you to take our time and be part of this celebration. This indeed means a lot for us. We can now proceed with lunch, which is arranged right outside this hall, and requesting all our employees and prospective employees to not forget to collect your goodie boxes as a token of appreciation from our end. For those of you who are going to have a session with Mr. Sachin Tikekar in office, request you to please collect your goodies from our offices at the 4th floor. Thank you once again to all of you, and you have been a great audience. Thank you so much.
ആ സോക്കറ്റിന്റെ
നോക്കിയേ
കേട്ടിട്ട്
എത്ര ഉണ്ട് നീ ചെന്നിട്ടോ ഹെഡ്സെറ്റ് കുത്തിയോ എടുത്തോ നീ വന്നടോ ഒരു മിനിറ്റ് ഒന്ന് പിടിക്കോ നമുക്കല്ലേടാ ലെവൽ ഇങ്ങനെ തന്നെ പിടിക്കണം കേബിൾ വലിയല്ലേ
വെച്ചാ പോരെ